let's talk about a few of these things, because some of you have got, I realize there's a couple of y'all have know this stuff, and there's some of you have no idea on some of this, and the other part is even those that know may not have some of this terminology correct anyway. Okay? First one they mention about is using File Explorer, which is what that first one has you doing. Now, that's a confusing one by name, because what is the old browser from Windows that they've had all of these years? What's it named?
Explorer.
Internet Explorer.
Correct.
Okay? This is File Explorer. Notice the names are almost the same, just different first names, but totally different things. Okay? And that this will appear as Explorer on your menu a lot of times when it's File Explorer, where the other one is Internet Explorer, or you'll see referenced as IE at times. Okay? That will allow you to go in and to get to it. If you got the folder on the taskbar, that will take you there. Okay? May not be on your taskbar. If we go into the Start menu, and that's where they confuse me because they just did it in. Original version of 10 had a folder here. Anniversary of 10 took away the folder. I'm not sure why. Okay?
Confuse you?
And if you're on 7, it's computer on your list is what we're going to. Where it said on the list it had something called computer, that took you to File Explorer. Okay? Everybody follow with me now? If I right click on here on the Start button, and actually if we go down to Accessories we can get to it, but there on the right clicking of it we can definitely get to File Explorer from there. If I go back to the Start button, whoops, trying to look at the board and do this does not work very well. It should be down here in Windows Accessories. Thought it was. No, it's not. Where is it? Where did they put it? They have completely hidden it on me now. So it should be, they should have still had it sitting over here. But some, like me, I don't like it sitting down in my taskbar. Where in the world they hid it? It shouldn't be in here, but I'm not gonna put it past them. Aha. Here it is. It's in Windows System. Okay? So if you went down and looked in the Windows System, so I've just shown you 3 ways to get to where we're going. Okay? So here is File Explorer. That's going to allow us to look at look at our whole structure of how stuff is stored on our computer. Okay, so you're going to be able to find your files and everything else. Okay, so it shows you your folders, etc. It comes up in whatever area, what they call quick access for things they think people are going to usually go to. Okay, they want to go see what's in that location. If we click on this PC, that will give us our drives on this machine and also the generic folders. So again, those same things that they had quick access to happens to be up here because those are common folders for it. And then it's got our drives that are located on this machine. And actually, we don't have all those drives on the machine because they got floppy disk drives still sitting there, but we have no floppy disk drive. Okay, and I thought that had gone away with 10 unless you specifically stuck a floppy disk drive on your machine. But I was thinking I didn't see it anymore on mine at home, but maybe I do, and I just ignore it. Actually, my machine at home does have a floppy disk drive on it. Okay? Local drive, local disk C. The C is the critical part for you because that's your first hard drive. Okay? Drives are lettered. Okay? A and B were reserved for floppy disk. And if you were to go back, way back when the PCs first came out, they originally only had floppy disk drives on them. So they assigned them A and B, and you had 2 floppy disk drives quite often on the machines back then. Then we went to 1 floppy disk drive, and now we've pretty much gone to no floppy disk drives. And then after that, starting the hard drives and everything else will start from C on up and can go through Z. Okay? The first hard drive should be drive C. If you've got more than 1 hard drive in the machine, usually they go alphabetically on up, although when the person installed it, they can choose some other letter to put on. But the first one needs to be C. So you should always see a C drive right there, okay? On these machines, it's not a physical hard drive sitting there, but it's a virtual hard drive, and it looks like a hard drive to the machine. So it still sees it as a hard drive, even though it's an imaginary one, okay? Which is what a virtual drive is. And your machines are actually virtual machines because it's not really a machine there. The machine is really located on another machine. And then we've got a DVD drive. We don't on these, but on most computers, if you've got a standalone machine, you have had DVD drives always there, although now with the new laptops, they've ceased putting DVD drives on them. DVD/CD drive. Okay? But you still could. A lot of times it does go to drive D, but it could be any letter. So you just have to look at that and see what letter it assigned to it. So
Why are they discontinuing the DVD hard drive slots? Because they want you to
save space and make the machine smaller, and that they're saying everybody's going to the cloud. Now, even though they are discontinuing that drive on there, you can go buy an external CD DVD drive for like $49 or something like that. And then you just plug it in the USB port and it works exactly the same and still shows up exactly the same in here, whether it's a plugged in one or not. If I was to plug my thumb drive in here,
it would say E.
It would assign it, and I would do that, but trying to find it down under there is still.
No, it's going to be on your monitor.
It may or may not. These monitors don't appear.
On the monitor.
There's one on the monitor.
Is there one? There may be actually back here.
It's right there on the right. On the smooth part of the back.
Should be on the monitor.
Where?
Right there. Up on the side. It's not under there, it's on the...
Oh, yeah, here it is. See?
Ah,
Yeah.
so
What you
if
can
I
do,
plug,
you can buy one that has multiple ports. Plug that in. And
but you've got sometimes on the monitor, so in a moment we should see my drive pop up on there, or I may have to refresh on it. There it is. So now it's seeing my thumb drive on there, and it's just it looks to the machine just like it was a hard drive or whatever on there. It's just another drive, and they all look the same to us. Everybody follow on that? It assigns it to the next available letter when you plug one in like that. Unless, and there's actually a way you can go in and change it to where you choose the letter it always picks on it. So it assigned the letter to it, and it's got the name I've assigned to my flash drive. So I've got my name on my flash drive. So if we click on any of these, on this one or this one, it's going to show us the structure in there. So I'm going to click on local disk C, which could be named something different. It's whatever that's been named and different. Apparently Dell is naming that hard drive local disk. You could see it called something else. Okay? Look for the letter after it's the big part. And sometimes you may even see it says untitled. Particularly your flash drives, you may well see say untitled there because somebody hasn't named the drive. Show you in a second how to name that thing. So here it shows us all the folders that are in there. There are no individual files in that root folder. The root folder, so I've just thrown you a term you don't know. Root is the highest level. Okay, so if you say something's root, you're saying it is at the primary level. Y'all follow on that? You'll see if you were in Linux, if you used Linux, the primary user on that system, the user that has all the power, is root. Okay, now Windows, the one that's got the most power is administrator. Root actually has a whole lot more power than administrator. You'll see me mention at times about root, if I ever say something on it, is that root is the god of the Linux system. That's with a little g. Okay, that's how much power it's got. If you're logged on as root on a Linux system, you can do rm space asterisk, and it will delete everything on your machine, including the operating system, and wipe it clean. And what it's effectively done is it just committed suicide. Okay, and it will let you do that, and on most variants of Linux, it won't even ask you if you're sure you want to do that. If you type that in, it assumes, and the asterisk says everything. In Windows, you got to do an asterisk period asterisk. Windows will not let you delete the critical system files, okay, that it's running off of. Linux, Unix will let you delete everything, okay? And doesn't even question you on it. Windows will stop and question you on when you want to delete stuff. Are you sure you want to delete whatever? Linux assumes if you're that you know what you're doing on the system and lets you do whatever you say do. That's not in the book. That's extra information for you. So these are all folders. They got the little yellow piece here, which should look like a folder, but it doesn't look like it does anymore. It used to be a little folder-shaped thing, but it's still yellow from yellow folders, okay? So then if we go into, there's really no data file spots here, because they really don't let you store stuff on here. If we went into the Windows folder, notice it's got lots of folders in it. Bunches of them, and goes on down, and then there's a bunch of files down here, and these are all different files. Now, file names have a first and last name to them in Windows, okay? The last name tends to be 3 characters usually, but it can be 2 or 4 characters on it, okay? But it's usually 3 characters. It tells you what type of file it is. By default in Windows, it does not show you that last name on there, because Microsoft decided that confuses people about seeing last names on there. But in turn, that creates some other confusion, because you can only have one file in a folder that's got the same name. You can't have another file with the same name in there. But you can have 2 files that have got same first name but different last name. The way they're listing it here, you could actually see 2 files sitting there with the same name, but they really aren't the same name because you don't see the last name. If you wanted to see the last names, which is the way I tend to set my machines always to do, click over on View, and there's a checkbox here that says File Name Extensions. If I check that, now if I scroll back down there to where the files are, notice file names change slightly. They've now got extensions on them that tell you what they are. EXE files are ones that will run, so they're executable. And they're the ones that when you click that name, it runs that program, so that's the program files. DMP, that's where there was a problem with this machine and it made a dump of the memory so we could look at what was in the memory when it crashed to figure out why it crashed. You may see a bunch of those on your machine.
Say that one more time. What is it?
EXE is executable. DMP happens to be dumped. Probably won't see that much. DLL is a driver file.
Direct link library, isn't that? Yeah.
Probably, I think
I've heard it
that.
called
I'm not
direct link
sure.
Library.
There's something link library and I don't remember the D. Okay? There's log files where it keeps track of, records information out there about what it's doing. Your Word files, when y'all start in the Word in the week or next week or whenever it is, the extensions on them are going to be DOCX in here, although you can save them as DOC also, which puts it in the older version of Word format. Okay? INI is another one like a driver. Those are files that when it goes to run the program, that's where it's got the information about how to run that program. So it's configuration information for the programs or for the machine. So that's what those are. And so there's a bunch of those and that they're associated with stuff, and there's all kinds of file extensions. For instance, where I'm putting the lectures out there, they're .mp3, I think it is, MPG3. I can't remember which way it is, but it tells us that it's a multimedia version 3 audio file. The videos, now that I'm going to probably be putting videos out there of the audio files to put them on YouTube or WMVs, which is Windows Movie video files. So the extension tells you what program does it belong with or what type of file is it. Does that make sense? Okay. So if you're in here and you want it to start a program, it is going to be a .exe one. The other part is the little icons, the little pictures here beside it, tells you what type of file it is also, but most of us can't ever remember all of those different pictures, but some people actually know what those pictures are. There's a few of the pictures I know what are, but very few. So, I don't know why that came. It's an exe file and you got a question mark by it. Because question marks are help ones, and that it recognizes these as help ones. And then it uses different symbols for them. And so sometimes you can sort of use the icons there, sort of not use. But you could actually go and run a program from here. So here's Notepad. We could do it from the Start menu. And if we did it from the Start menu, actually what it's going to do is come to here and run it from here behind the scenes. We could actually run it from right there without going through the Start menu, which is the old way of doing it, that I can double click this, and it opens up Notepad, which is a simple little place to type in stuff. Everybody follow that? So you can run things from right there, which is what they tell you a little bit about there. All right, I'm going to close that back. If you want to create more folders, I think it's on the home if I remember right. Yeah. So if I click on the home button, then, and I'm in where I want to create the folder, so make sure you're in the correct place, okay? Then I would just click New Folder, and it will create a folder called New Folder. And you shouldn't normally need that, but it's just told me, looks like it's not going to let me because of, all right, because of how they've got this, that they're not letting us create. So we'll do this another way, that we can do it. We can go to My Drive, since we got My Drive on here, and we can do stuff on there. And now y'all find out what I've got on My Drive.
Well, yeah, because you're not going to be able to create in the root directory, which is where you're from.
'Cause you can
You can create a new.
You can
folder.
create in the root directory on y'all's machine, but you can't on these machines.
Okay, yeah, they have it
Okay?
locked out.
They've got it locked out. So here, I'm sitting in my root directory now on my drive, okay?
And so
If
then
I
you
go to home here, and actually everything on there has been done essentially this way, and click new folder,
Yeah, you name it.
notice it says new folder. That's the name it's going to give it, and you're just going to type over it with whatever you want to call it.
Dr. Watts, I got to do that last night on those lessons.
Okay? Which is what you're supposed to be doing, and I'm sort of running this along here, okay?
But it was in guidance.
And so then you can go through, and so that's going to create your folders. Everybody follow how to create folders? If I want to get rid of a folder, so this folder I don't want any longer. All I'm going to do is select it and hit the delete key, and it's gone. It may ask you, depending on how the settings are on your machine, it may ask you, are you sure you want to delete the folder? Particularly if there's stuff in the folder, it's going to ask you, are you sure you want to delete it? Now, it's not actually deleted, just for your information. So I'm going to go back to the desktop, and we should have a recycle bin up here. If I go in the recycle bin, we should find new folder down on the recycle bin. Yep, there it is. Because it sends it to the recycle bin. Okay? So it's not literally gone yet. Does everybody follow with me? Now, if we delete it from the recycle bin, it's basically gone. Okay? But it's still actually on the machine. It's just you can't access it anymore. Okay? Without going through a bunch of hoops to get there. Beyond this course. But it's sitting in the recycle bin. I could choose it right there, and then I could choose to restore it. It should be on the home button. So let's click that one. I'll click home, and don't see it on there, but I can right click it and I can choose restore. There's somewhere up there it gives it the option to us too. It is now back on my drive, because if we go back over here to my drive, it should be up there alphabetically, but it may be down on the bottom. Let's see. Yep, it put it right back down there on the bottom because it's not sorting them. But y'all see on that where if you delete it by accident, you can go to the recycle bin and restore it back. Now, if you delete it and you empty the recycle bin, it's basically gone, but it's not literally gone. Okay? Somebody can still get on your machine, go in through the administrative tools and actually find the file in there, because what it's really only done is change the first character to a question mark. It now knows it can overwrite it. It's not being used, but it's still all out there. Does everybody follow on me on that part? So the fact you deleted it from the recycle bin, somebody can still get on your drive until it's written over with other stuff, still pull it literally back up, which is what's on the news this morning about what they found on that Belgium bomber on their laptop that they had thrown away before they did their suicide bombing, and that they found a whole bunch of stuff on there when they went back into it where they had deleted stuff but had not fully gotten rid of it. Now, there are programs out there you can run that will actually overwrite the file with all zeros, and then it's gone. But that's just for y'all's information on when you delete it, it's really not gone. Okay? It's just the link to it is gone. But the data's still on the hard drive. Unless you run a program that literally overwrites it. CCleaner includes a program that does that. A bunch of other utilities that you can get out that are free utilities will actually wipe it off your drive. That's bonus information. All right. If you want to select multiple files, all you do, if they're all in sequence, and there's a whole group of them right here that are in sequence, choose the first one, go down to the last one, and you can hit Shift, and it'll select them all. Okay?
Like what?
Hit Shift. When I clicked the bottom one, I did Shift and click, and it chose everything from the last one, click down to that one.
So you go to the first one, select it, and go down to the last one where you want, you select it, and then hit Shift, and it'll
No.
take them all.
No. Go down to the last one, hit Shift, and hit their click to
That's
choose
what I
it.
was saying. You select the first one.
Select the first
Go to
one.
the last one that you want, and you hit Shift, and it'll select all in between.
Now, if you want to just choose selective ones, so if I want to choose this one and this one, hit Control when you go to choose that second one, and now the two of them are chosen. And you can choose any number of them using the Control key on that. Okay, so you can selectively choose through that. So you can select multiple files to do things with, okay? If you want to rename a file, so if I want to rename that file, if I'll just not double click it, I want to only single click it. So I'll click, and notice it's changed to just the first name part of it is lit up for us. And we can just type right over it with whatever the name we want to, and we can use our arrows and move back and forth in there. So if I want to change that to 128, I could delete off the 7 and change it to an 8. And once I hit enter, the file's now got that new name. Everybody follow on that part? So you can name them fairly easy on that. Folders or files works the same way on that. Because really to the machine, whether it's a folder or a file, same thing for choosing folders, we choose just like we chose files. It sees folders and files literally as the same type thing. Deleting, I already told you about that one. Showing and hiding file extensions, I actually already showed you that one. That if you go up there and go to home, not home, to view, this changed with the
Go to what view?
to view, and there's where is your option to show or hide file extensions. So if I go back to view, notice I just took them away. The other one there is hidden items. There's some things that it's got are marked as hidden files on your machine. Generally they're system files that it uses that you're not really supposed to be changing on, but possibly you could if you were more advanced. You can actually reveal those, see those all in there by just checking that box, and it will show you the hidden ones. If it's unchecked, it hides hidden files. And we can actually go into the file and tell it if it's a hidden file. If we right click on a file and choose properties, that right down here has got two options on this one, attributes. Hidden is one of them. If you don't want that file to be showing when people normally look at it unless they've got the hidden box checked. If you check this, it will be hidden from them. And it's still on there and everything there is just not showing on the list. Y'all follow on that? But if you check that box in view, it will appear on the list.
Where did you get that again?
Right click on the
Right
file.
click. Oh, okay.
Right click and choose properties.
Choose properties. Oh, I got you.
Okay?
Okay.
Read only says that somebody goes to write to it, they're not going to be able to make changes to that file. They'll only be able to look at the file. So like your Word document file, she's typed up a document, she's sending it to me. She really wants me to just look at it, but she does not want me to modify on it. She could go in, mark it as read only, send it to me, and if I try to make changes in it, it's not going to let me, although I could go in and uncheck the read only box and then make changes to it. But for most people she sends it to, she's just stopped them from making changes to the file she's sending out there, and that it stops it on it. So everybody follow on that part? So that's can be a useful little piece there for you. And there's more attributes on your advanced that you can set some other settings, but those are the two big ones. And notice here in properties that there's a lot of information about that file right there for us. It tells us what type of file it is. How did it figure that out? Because of the extension on it. It was a .docx file. So it tells us right here it's actually a .doc file. But it tells us here it's a Microsoft Word 97 type file. Microsoft Word 2003 changed to the docx. And on this machine, it's going to open with Word 2016 because that's the version of Word we got on this machine. If I stick it in another machine that's got Word 97 only on it, it's going to say it opens with Word 97. Okay, whatever that machine's got set for DOC files opens with. It gives us there. Tells us where it's stored. Tells us the size. This file happens to be 23,040 bytes long. Okay, so it's got 23,000 characters. That's how much space it's taking. Size on the disk is a little bit bigger because it's got a little more this properties information, for instance, included with it that's really not in the file. And it tells us when you created it, that I created this on Saturday, November the 12th at 4:55 p.m. I last modified it 1 minute later that day. And then the last time it was accessed is right now, today. Okay, because we just accessed it a moment ago, because remember I accidentally opened it. So it gives you some basic information about it right there. Y'all follow on that? So properties can give you some useful information at times. And actually I just showed you how to change the properties on it already. So I sort of jumped around as I went, but that's how if you know what you're talking about up here, which is what you are thinking I am, right? That I'm going to jump around, that my logic in the order of it may not be something I'm seeing there, may lead me off to the next thing or throw some extra things in. Questions on that?
What were you saying you had to save your information in on vinyl? I misunderstood you. Okay, never mind. I misunderstood you.
Okay, so that's what your file management, we're looking at how you can go wander around in the machine and find stuff. Now, a lot of things y'all do on the machine, you don't have to go into File Explorer to do stuff. But if you're trying to find a file in there, we're going to use File Explorer a lot to open files. You're not going to go to File Explorer to do it, but when you go do your open or do your save as, guess what you're getting? Similar type box right there, and you got to go into the correct folder, correct drive, correct folder to where you're going to choose to save it to, and you're actually getting a limited version of File Explorer at that point. So that's why you're needing to see file management at this point and to be aware of it, okay? And the more you use it, the more you're going to see things with it, but you can actually go into here and make changes to things, and that you can find things also. You can go to a document in here, so I can go to the document here. I could go in Word and then choose File Open and open it and go find it and open it. Or I could come here and just double click on it, and that it will open for me. It will open the program that's associated with it and open that file. So it opens Word, opens my document. Does everybody follow on that? Or I could have come up here to File and done Open and done Browse, and it happened to land in my drive right there, and I could have chosen the file and opened it. Okay? Sometimes you do one, sometimes you do the other. Let's close Word. So I was going to show you one other thing down here. If I try to open something that does not have the program on this machine that's associated with it, like this EWSX file, watch what happens. It tells me it can't open this type of file because it does not know what program this file is associated with, because that program's not on this file. It's an Easy Worship file, that's actually the program from whichever date that was. from September the 18th last year for running the presentation software in my church on the screen. Because I stick them on the flash drive to take them to church. I haven't deleted them off in a little bit, but you can see. That last Sunday's is sitting on there too. But Easy Worship's not on this machine, so I didn't know what to do with it. But when I plug it into the machine there at church or on my home computer, I got Easy Worship on both of those. It says it knows what it is. Also, because of that, it tells us what the extension is because it hides known extensions. It doesn't hide unknown extensions by default. Okay? So when you leave that box unchecked and say hit hide extensions, it's hiding extensions it knows what they are. But if it doesn't know what the extension belongs to, it gives you the extension. So it's giving me that one, but up here on this one, it's actually got an extension of .doc. It knows what that belongs to, so it hid it. This one it doesn't know, and actually it shows us the little word icon by it. This one, it doesn't know what it belongs with, so it shows the extension there. If we plug this into my home machine, it would hide that extension on there because it knows what ESWX belongs to. Actually, on my home machine, it would still show us the ESWX because I've got it showing all extensions. All right, does that make sense to y'all? Does that help some? Probably y'all may have all picked up something out of that, even the ones that know some stuff. Okay? Or may not have. But that we've covered that whole bit out of that. Any questions on that? Now, as far as where y'all are having problems with the stuff at home, my only suggestion is try a different browser. Chrome is what they say usually works. That's what I would go to first trying to run the stuff. If Chrome doesn't work, go try Internet Explorer. And if you're on Windows 10, remember, if you don't see the icon for it, one, you can go find Internet Explorer down there in Windows Accessories. I think it was
I
Accessories.
have 10 on there, but Monday when I come back, I'll give you a report, because when I did the first lesson, I was in the Microsoft,
And Edge.
and you were saying that was probably why I didn't get my first 3 check marks.
Mm-hmm.
So this lesson, I used the Chrome browser, and that's the browser that's not allowing me. I'll go back in today.
So, and the other part is, send me an email and tell me.
Okay.
You don't have to wait till Monday to tell me.
Okay.
Send me an email, and then I may be able to tell you something else, another suggestion.
Okay.
Okay?
After math class, I went into the library here,
Mhm.
and I tried to do the lesson. And I would select the correct answer. I know what the answer is. I've used it numerous times, and it was telling me it was wrong. So then I just, for fun, I said, okay, let's just do this. So I select all of them, and, individually. Every single answer was wrong.
All right, when it does that, then send me on which one it is.
Okay.
Okay?
I'll make
And
that
if
decision.
if you don't want to sit there and try to type explaining to me, the better one is do a print screen. All y'all know how to do a print screen. That y'all can go, if we wanted to send me this one. Oops. And that I was trying to do it, and that this was the screen where I was having the problem. If I will do Shift and the print screen key, which is a PRTSC key somewhere on here. Where is it? Okay, there it's under the insert on these keyboards. It varies on where you find it. This one actually spells out print screen. Hit Shift and that key. Okay?
PRTS.
Because usually PRTSC is what a lot of times it is. Okay? On these keywords it's actually spelled out. Now, nothing's going to happen. It has put it on the clipboard at this point. Okay? So you're not going to see anything done. I have just done it. Okay? Now, if I was to go into my email, or I'm just going to go to Notepad right here. So I'll go down to Windows Accessories, actually I'll go to probably go to WordPad. Let's go do that. WordPad and Notepad are similar, but WordPad lets you actually use graphics in it. Notepad just lets you use characters. If I'm in here, now if I do paste here, and it doesn't look like it actually did the print screen for some reason. Because paste should be lit. So I'm just going to hit print screen this time. Most machines, it's you got to hit shift with it.
Oh, yeah, sometimes you can hit just hit print screen.
Why is it not wanting to do print screen for me? All right, there's another way to do this. If we go to accessories, to Windows accessories, there's the snipping tool, which actually is listed up there as a most used thing, but I'm going to go to it from here because if you haven't been using it, it's not going to appear there. But snipping tool will do the same thing for you. It pops up with this little box here. Click New. And then at that point, you've got this little cross up here, okay? Just mark around the area of what you want to make a copy of to send to me. Do that. It has now put it on the clipboard. This time I'm sure it's there, and did I close? No, there it is. So I'll go back to WordPad. Now notice paste is live. If I click paste, it just put it in there. You can do that into your email message sending to me. Okay? You can actually just paste right in the
Save it
email
and then
message.
send it
And
down.
then I'll see exactly what you were seeing. Okay? Does everybody follow on that? So if it wasn't letting you do the correct answer, send me that on that, and then I will try it on there and see what in the world, and see what it's choosing as the right answer, and see if it really is the right answer, and if they really got it right, tell you why that one's the right answer versus the other answers, and I'll
Also,
explain it
too,
to you.
You know, interesting, they'll have tips. It says tips. It gives you the answer. So I hit
Mhm.
tips because I'm like, well, maybe there's something I'm missing. And sure enough, I said, okay, that's just what I did, and I executed. I selected my answer, and it told me I was wrong again.
So send me that one, and then I can go in and try it from my machine and see if it's throwing wrong on it, which is possible at times.
Okay.
Okay? And then I can report it accordingly.
I'm going to do attachments.
Does everybody follow on that? So if y'all hit the problem and y'all are all hitting various different things
Yeah.
going wrong with you, because I think every one of you said you had some type of problem at some point. But it seems like all different problems. So something's just, but it's when it's doing these simulations and stuff that complicates things too. Remember, if you are in Edge and it's not working in Edge and you want to try it in Internet Explorer, you don't have to start Internet Explorer and start all over again. So if I come to here, if I go over here to the three dots, I can choose Open with Internet Explorer, and it will open that same page in Internet Explorer. Well, actually, no, it'll take me to the correct program, and I got to get back to it. If it wasn't a secured site, it will actually take you to the identical same page. But since it's a secured site, you got to log back in. But you're now in Internet Explorer there, while I've still got Edge running also, and then you can see, does it run in Internet Explorer for me? So try between Internet Explorer, Chrome, and Edge. If you've got Firefox on your machine, you can try that one too, but that should work similar to Chrome because they're actually using the same engine behind them. The other one is make sure your Chrome is up to date. And I think I showed y'all that the other day, didn't I?
I brought my notebook in so you could check to
That's
see
what
if
we
what
Okay.
it was up to
But you
date.
can't check it if it ain't getting on the internet, can you?
Well, I did.
Yeah, you
I
gotta,
was able to
actually,
on guest. I don't know.
it will tell us if it's up to date or not without getting on the internet. It just won't update it without being on there because we can go. All right, any other questions? If not,
Automatically update when
Chrome usually tries to update, and that it will tell you that it's got an updated version available for you and wants you to update it when you open it. But sometimes I've seen where it didn't tell people, or people just ignored it, and then it got where it just ignored the messages.
You want that last.
So I will see y'all Tuesday, and we'll start into whatever's the next thing then. So try to do the test by Monday and the assignment, but if you get a little behind, you can still catch back up, okay? So really, the due dates are really more suggested in this class instead of mandatory. All right, I will see you Tuesday.